So hello to all my cherry bombs, it's me Cherry back with another video, another story time. And today nobody can tell me anything, baby, because I done got me a couch. I'm like a real adult, babes. I done got me a couch. This video is sponsored by Ernest. It's so soft. I put it together myself. You know, I'm tired, y'all. I'm so tired of being Mr. Ninja, okay? Honestly, I need to skip to my soft life. A man should be putting together my furniture, not me. But right now it's me. So I'm going to show you guys briefly how I put this mug together because it was super easy, super simple. And then we're going to get right into this story time because, baby. Welcome to my new decorating series where I call this Cherry Gets Together. And today we are building me a couch. Wow, I'm just fat. So yeah, I've been in this apartment mad long with no furniture, and I learned on TikTok that that's actually a trauma response. Personally, for me, I know that most of it comes from the fact that not only is this my first place that I've lived on by myself, but I'm really used to moving near every year. And in New York, you always have roommates and half the places be furnished. And if they weren't furnished, baby, all you needed was a bed for real because the roommates that you had already probably been there before you, so they unfurnished the place. Screaming because, child, I was showing y'all them pieces like it was a makeup tutorial. But anyway, this is me just putting the legs on. The legs were super easy. Like, it's dang near self-explanatory. All you gotta do is mash up the pieces and then you just screw them joints in. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. This part was the hardest part. Like, trying to line up these little pieces that y'all can't see, but trying to line up them little pieces and then scoop them in the, y'all. I was fighting for my life so damn bad messing with this part, y'all. I literally had to come back a different day. I done changed wigs, switched outfits, everything messing with this thing. Now, this one got real. You know, I was over here scoping the scenery out like that old girl said. And then I finally got it. Baby, I was getting in there, okay? And that's how you know I was working hard. My little fupa jiggling and everything. Now it's time for me to reward my hard work by putting my cushions on so I can see what the finished product finna look like. Side note, I actually wanted a black couch, but they didn't have black. And the way I be touching my face with this makeup on, child, this couch, I gotta get a couch cover. But this is the finished product. It came out so cute. I'm so in love with it. Won't be seeing the white for long because I definitely have to get the couch cover because that couch will not stand a chance. But it is so cute and it's so soft and I'm proud of myself. Anyway, you guys, we're about to get into this story time. But before we get into the story time, please make sure that you turn on your notifications because I'm very sporadic with how I post. And if you don't have them on, you will miss me. Give this video a thumbs up so more people can find my content. Also, all my social medias will be linked down below. And subscribe to my channel, y'all. I'll be going missing, but hey, when I'm here, it's a good time. So anyway, when I first got to Dallas, okay, my first job down here now, it's been a good 6 months since that. So my first job down here was a nightlife job, and I'm just throwing this out here. Y'all know how I tell stories. I would never tell a story about a job that I'm currently working. So this is not anything to do with the job that I currently work. This is one of the jobs from when I first got down here. Anyway, my first nightlife job, y'all. For the most part, it was cool, but when people ask me why I left, this story time is more so about like the events that led to me being like, maybe not for me. But also, I feel like with working nightlife, and this is for anybody who is interested in getting into like bottle service or nightlife, anything of the sort, I just feel like in order for it to be worth it, if you're working nightlife and you're giving up your weekends, the best days of your weekends at that, you should at least, like, in 2 days, 3 days, you should at least be touching a band or better. Especially in 3 days. And when I was at this particular job, I was like, yo, like, you know, I was so excited to start with them. I was like, all the girls, we all got along. We still hang out to this day. Those are like actually my friends, like, love them to death. So the girls, like the actual staff, really didn't have anything to do with me leaving. So when I first started that job, I'd seen the job on TikTok. I was like, oh, they look really lit. And they were lit. Like, we had a lot of people come through that were like really them, you know what I mean? Where things started to kind of be iffy to me. So for this particular job, I'm gonna call it, I'm so bad with names. For this particular job, because the owner owned 2 different spots, I'm gonna call one spot the triangle and I'm gonna call the next spot the square. We're just gonna keep it simple that way because y'all, I'm terrible when it comes to names. I be naming people objects, all type of shit. I worked at the triangle where things started getting kind of where I was like, okay, like, I just feel like, okay, Texas in general, when you work nightlife, it definitely gives like pimp vibes, like pimp culture, if you ask me. I've worked nightlife since 2015. So I've seen a lot of things and I'm very like conscious and aware. And people tend to think just because I'm nice, I don't be peep shit, but I peep everything. So I feel like the first incident there was we had a big event, okay? like I said, we had the triangle and the square. We had a big event coming up at the triangle where we were gonna have a big artist come in, right? So with that big artist coming, it's like, all right, your girls, they're like the home team at the triangle. We know the triangle, we know how it works, we know how it flows, we know the section numbers, we know the system, like everything like that, right? But for some reason, for this big event, instead of trusting the girls at the triangle to work that event, the owner of the club brought over girls from the square to work the event with us. Now, granted, it was already gonna be a good amount of girls. So we're like, okay, like we all pulled. So we're like, that's less money that we're gonna make. And why is it that they get to come? It was the principle of things. It was like, why is it that they get to come work at our establishment and you would never let us go work at theirs? That would never be a thing.
And honestly, when he did that, it gave me a flashback to, I can say this now because Cameo been closed for years now. When I used to work Cameo for CIAA, and then when I got onto Cameo as like a regular girl too, Cameo used to do this thing every year where they would let girls fly in from New York, Miami, Atlanta. Girls would fly in from all over the East Coast to work CIAA at Cameo. Okay, cool. That's not an issue. But where Cameo would do this weird stuff is they would let those girls fly in and then give all the best sections to the out-of-town girls while basically just giving the in-town girls scraps. This gave the same energy as that.
You know what I mean? So when we had this big artist come through, it read as if, oh, these girls are better than y'all. They know what they're doing more. So we're gonna have them come over and basically do y'all's jobs. And actually, no, that's what it was. It wasn't even that they were coming over to work at our club. It was that they were gonna come work at our club and we were just gonna essentially be the help. Like we were gonna be runners and they were gonna come do the bottle service at our club instead of us. Which made no sense. It's like a slap in the face. It's like, all right, like y'all are in here shooting with us in the gym every weekend, but now we have a big artist come in, a big event where like we're actually gonna do it. We're gonna do liquor sales this time. So instead of opening the opportunity up for y'all to work that event and get the money, we're gonna bring girls from the sister club. They'll get the money and y'all will just get like a base pay for helping them out. So of course we all kind of looking like like why would we do that? Like the fuck, like that make no sense. So I wasn't feeling that off jump the first time they ever did that. That event ended up actually being a flop. So boom. But even if it wouldn't have been a flop, it's just like it still would have been a smack in the face. So we was just like, we wasn't really feeling that.
We also, from that first event, all ended up getting paid evenly. But that was after we raised hell and literally fought tooth and nail, telling them like that is not fair, that we would get like quote unquote a base pay. Then we didn't even get paid at first. So it was like we really had to sit there like the other girls that got paid, and then we were still like, so are we getting paid for this event? Like it was just weird.
And when the girls came in to work that event, this was the other issue, was they came in and the energy and the attitudes was like, and nobody could, you know, when people come and act this thing, like I don't like when people do that and then they act like, oh my god, what are you talking, girl, you know how the fuck you was acting, like don't do that, right? Everything is cool now. I'm telling this story from the perspective of how it was then though. Then when they first came in, the girls came in from the square like, this is like beneath us, like ew, like what is this, like and then we were setting up I guess one of my coworkers, I heard them kind of be like, oh, like kind of like say something like, oh, they wasn't finna help us set up like that, I would do. And it's like, we not finna do the whole setup for y'all if y'all are working the event and then y'all make all the money and y'all not helping us. Y'all acting like y'all too good to touch shit, like y'all not, you know. Or like one of the girls that from the triangle was like, hey, this is how we do our setup, like, you know, like do y'all mind helping us out? Everybody just looked at her and didn't say nothing, like she was stupid, like everybody was deaf or something. So of course, like the girls from the triangle, we looking like, bro, what the fuck, like y'all already brought girls from a different club to work our shit. They being stank on top of that. They acting like we're beneath them, like, ooh, like, we'll let them do like that. Like, they can do the little handiwork. Y'all just let us know when it's time to do bottles and shit, because we're not touching that. Like, that was the energy, right? And it was a clear divide. Like, y'all, when I say obvious, clear, stank energy divide, like, it was bad, right?
Mind y'all, if y'all were to see the girls from both clubs, everybody fire. There's literally no reason for anybody to come in feeling like they're above the next girl. Like, this is not giving no, like, oh, star tenders from New York with BBLs is coming in and working our shit. This is a bunch of down south, very pretty, but, you know, regular, like, not like social media girls. You know what I mean? Everybody on the same playing field.
So we get in the dressing room. We're in the dressing room, and it was just kind of like they were talking amongst each other, we were talking amongst each other, whatever, right? So it was made known to our manager that that was the energy. So our manager, when she came in that night, she was like, hey, we're just gonna have a little break the ice session. Like, the manager from the square and our manager from the triangle were like, we're gonna have a break the ice session. So we do that, everybody goes around, says their name. And that particular night, we had been told that the reason that we could not be cocktails that night was because we didn't know the POS system. However, once the night got started, none of the girls from the square, they didn't know our system either. So their manager was the one putting in all the orders. So it's like, if that was the case, we could have worked our own shit and the manager could have just did whatever she was doing as well. The girls, they didn't know the section numbers, no nothing. But y'all have them working our stuff and you have us just running bottles. Like, where they do that at? Anybody would feel like that was a smack in the face. If I'm a club owner in New York and some big ass club owner from Miami comes in and is like, oh, I'm gonna run your shit for tonight. You can basically just, you know, I'll let you know when I need help. As a club owner, you would feel a type of way. So to act as though like we were tripping for feeling a type of way, that we were basically being the help in our own shit, and then trying to like gaslight us like we were tripping about it, was like wild. And then I don't like when people try to act like they try to feed you shit and tell you it's sugar and act like they're doing you a favor. And so we just kind of like that. I was just blown off of that. I personally felt like, from what I was observing, a lot of the girls from my club, like, that was their first nightlife job. So it's like they kind of were just like, they felt away, of course, because they knowing they're getting effed over, but they not really. I feel like a lot of shit used to slide because when it's your first nightlife job, you don't know what real nightlife money is. You don't really know when you're like for something that blatant, you know you're getting effed over. But with a lot of other things, like, it's easier to make shit slide, or it's easier to kind of intimidate girls into feeling like, oh, well, if you have a problem, you can get the fuck. Where when it's somebody who's been working nightlife, it's like, I don't care about getting the fuck. I'll gladly get the fuck. And I'm still gonna eat regardless, and I'm gonna eat wherever I go, and I've always been good. I never do no handout, like, I'm always gonna be straight. And not only that, I'll get the fuck and have another job in the same week. I don't like when people try to like little girl me or son me or anything of the sort. As soon as I feel like that, like, and I don't like when people think they smarter than me. Cause I'm a very smart girl, and I just don't like that whole like power dynamic where like somebody kind of just feel like, all right, I'm in charge, so I can kind of do you however the fuck, and I don't care. Cause it's never gonna be that with me. After the first event, there was so much tension from that night. Like, y'all, when I tell you, you could cut the tension with a knife. There was so much tension between the square and the triangle. And honestly, I feel like too, because at the end of the day, like I said, I'm a lot older than a lot of the girls that I'll end up working nightlife with at this point. That's why, like, my chapter working nightlife it's not gonna be much longer. You know what I mean? Like, but for now, with what I'm doing, I just gotta understand that, like, I'm gonna have a different perspective on a lot of things. I see things a lot differently. That being said, again, I peep everything. The manager at the square was encouraging the girls to kind of act like stank or act the type of way or whatever we do, but then we try to play it like, oh, I don't know why they're like, I don't like, you know, I just don't like stuff like that. Like, you know, you was kind of like trying to create a hierarchy. You know, you be weird towards the girls that are at the triangle. You know that you be real wishy-washy on the days that you speak or don't speak or whatever. It's like, girl, nobody's stupid. So we had a meeting with everybody from that had worked the night of the event, of the first event. When we had that meeting, bro, and this is why I kind of like these days, I really pick and choose what battles I'm going to fight, because I get so tired of always being the one to speak up. And then, like, everybody will have a problem, but I'm very outspoken, so I tend to be the one that actually speaks up when there's a problem, because if I feel away, you gonna know. So But these days, I'm like, I'm not finna keep doing that. Like, at my job now, if people have a problem, I let everybody fend for themselves. And then, you know, if it really, really gets to it, I'll add my 2 cents. But at the end of the day, like, I just got tired. And after this last situation, because I've had a lot of instances like this, I got tired of being the one where everybody will have a problem, but I'm like the voice box for everybody. And then you look like, it's like I look like the problematic one. I look like the one that's got a, like the only one that's got an issue. I look like the one that, you know, can't get along. And when we had this dinner, multiple people had an issue about how things were run. We sit down for that dinner, I'm the only one going off. And when I tell you challenging, like, because like I told y'all, I just never been scary. I don't have it in me to be scary. Because they had tried to spin it, like we were jealous of the girls from the square. Or like we were the only ones mad, or we were the only ones who felt the type of way. The way that they came in with them attitudes, acting stank as fuck, and then tried to play like oh my god, we just don't know why they feel a type of way. Like, I don't know what we did. We don't know why you're mad. I said, fuck all that. If you gonna throw the stone, baby, throw it with your chest. And the girls from the square was basically trying to be like, oh, we don't know why they're mad. And people trying to spin it like we just mad for no reason. I'm laying it all on the table. Like, everybody was quiet, whatever. I'm laying it on the table. I'm like, it did seem like when y'all came in, y'all had attitudes, and we're not finna sit here and act like y'all didn't have attitudes. It's no beef, but you know y'all came in acting a type of way. It is what it is. Like, it's no beef now. We can squash it. We can all be cool, whatever we do, but don't act like you didn't come in acting like that. That first instance, I felt away from then, because that rubbed me so wrong. When it was just like, all right, like the way they did that, it rubbed me so wrong, right? Boom. Fast forward, maybe like a month after that happened, right? I'm already not really feeling it, because I'm just like, again, money-wise, I just felt like, this is not what I'm used to working nightlife. Like, this is not, it's not adding up. So I already was like not feeling that. But then Halloween came around, right? So we had another big artist coming in November. Real big artist coming in November. The first one was big too, but this one was like, right now they're like hot, popping, like the hottest thing right now type, you know? So Halloween comes around or whatever, and I already was feeling type of way because we spent so much money on Halloween outfits. And like, as far as like the boots that I had to get were like $50 boots. Then the Halloween costume was $50, and we got 2 of them hoes, and both of them was like 50. Like, so that's already $150. Then that's and then there was one more thing that we had to like, so all together we probably spent like 2 something for Halloween, right? And I'm like, now I wouldn't be tripping about 2 something if I was making a shit ton of money working at that job. But it's like, we weren't. The manager's like, we're gonna get these outfits, like y'all gonna make more money because y'all gonna look good, like that. Woo. We didn't get to pick out the outfits, and honestly the outfit that we wore, like we all like, it ended up being cute, don't get me wrong. It's not something that like I would have ever picked to wear for Halloween, but it ended up looking cute. But at first we were kind of all just like, oh my god, we don't want to be that, like that's not sexy, like what the fuck. Halloween, we ain't made no money. Like, literally, it was so bad. It was so trash, right? I seen that check, and I ain't gonna hold y'all. I seen that check, and that bitch was like $396, not even a whole $400 for 2 days of work after spending over $200 on outfits, shoes, all that stuff. Had to do a photo shoot, everything. Now the photo shoots, granted, that's a Texas thing. Like all the nightlife down here, like they do a lot of like video shoots, photo shoots, stuff like that. I think it's dope. It's really fun. But just the fact that we did a day-long shoot and bought all the stuff for the shoot just to like barely make anything back. Rewind, so there was a Halloween party before Halloween weekend, and this is actually this is one of the main spots where I got blown, y'all. The owner had this Halloween party, and they were like, oh, it's mandatory that you come to this Halloween party. Okay, I'm not tripping about that, but it's Halloween, so I'm under the impression that normally Halloween, you bounce around to different venues, you bounce around to different spots. Like, you might start in one place, but it's Halloween. That's just the nature of what you do on that type of holiday, right? So in my head, a bunch of us girls are thinking like, okay, like we're gonna start at the work Halloween party, and then we're gonna bounce around to other spots because there were other moves out here in Dallas. So we're like, okay, we're gonna bounce around to other spots, right? y'all. So we basically ended up getting in trouble, right? And mind you, like I said, that November, week before Thanksgiving, we were gonna have a real big artist coming, right? So we were already, you know, like they had told us which girls was gonna be working it, so we were excited, we'll do whatever, right? We get to the Halloween party and we stayed until like maybe like we probably left like 20 to 30 minutes before our work Halloween party was gonna end, because the party was ending at 2. So towards the end of the party, we leave and we go to another little spot because we're picking up one of the girls that there was an after party, right? So we go to another spot because we're gonna go grab our friend to go to the after party, right? And we got in that second spot, you know, it was a little vibe or whatever, so I took a video, y'all. Not thinking nothing of it, you know? New to Dallas, took a video or whatever. I'm like, okay, you know, it's a cool little vibe in here. Took a video, we grab our friend, we go to the after party, right? Why, like, the next day or the day after, I get a call from the manager. It's basically like, oh, well, you know, the owner is mad that y'all left the Halloween party early, and y'all were like, y'all were supposed to be hosting, like it was hosted by the Triangle and the Square, so like y'all had an obligation to stay at the party. I'm like, hold on, nobody paid me to be at that motherfucking party. I was not obligated to stay at shit because I was not getting paid for that party. Mandatory for work, okay, cool. I came, I showed face, I got drinks, I turned up, I had a good time, and then I was finna bounce around. I'm grown as fuck. No one paid me to host shit, so I was not hosting a goddamn thing. People trying to gaslight me and basically be like, oh yeah, like no, y'all were hosting, like it said on the flyer hosted by so and so. Yeah, hosted by the venue, not by me personally, unless you finna run me some funds for that. No, it was not hosted by me, not at all. No. You're not finna gaslight me into feeling like, oh, like I'm wrong, because I'm not. You're not paying me. I wasn't on the schedule, I wasn't working. You said, all right, y'all need to come out to this Halloween party. We came out. Our night off. According to the owner, it was like, oh, well, y'all can't work the big artist night. Y'all can't work that night anymore because y'all went into the other spot and y'all partied. And then, you know, there was a picture. I get, you know, like he seen where we had done the video or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't even make enough in this motherfucking club to where I would ever be dodging no motherfucking cameras. I just feel like the owner of that club was very possessive over the girls, as if like you would have thought we was in that bitch having 3 or 4K weekends, the way that they didn't want us to be at no other clubs or like be in nobody's pictures at no other spots and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, respectfully, I don't make enough. I'm not finna, oh, I can't be in this picture at this spot because I work so and so. I don't make no Dodge pictures ass money. So I wasn't finna be on none of that. Then you telling us that we can't work for the big artist night because of that, because we didn't stay the whole time for the Halloween party. At that point, between the controlling aspect of like, oh, y'all can't be in certain pictures, y'all can't work at this because y'all didn't stay the whole night at this party, and y'all went and y'all partied other places on Halloween. I was just like, bro, like I just wasn't feeling that. And I feel like they gave us I feel like people was handing me the ass to kiss, and I don't like that. So boom, it comes. I said, you know what, I'm gonna wing it just like maybe like the 2 weeks before. But I said by the time the big artist night comes, because I already know I'm not working it. And then I feel like people wanted me to kiss ass in order to like get back on for like the big artist night. It was like, oh, like just talk to so and so, just try to see if you can. And I'm just like, I'm not begging to work. I'm not kissing no ass. I'm not pleading no case. At the end of the day, if I can't work the event, so the fuck what, so be it. Like, first off, I was out of town in Atlanta when they had the event anyway, because I'm like, shit, if I'm not working, it's whatever. And it was Thanksgiving. I got family in Atlanta. I was literally about to go spend time with family anyway. But also, I danced right before then. I made more than I would have made working the event anyway. Like, I just feel like people really don't understand. Like, y'all already know if you've been here long enough, I have a whole series called Failed Jobs Friday because I do not give a damn about quitting a job. Oh, this was my thing too, because when the bigger artist was coming, so this was the other thing. Then they started trying to give us incentives to work an event that we should have already been able to work off the strength that like that's our venue that we be working. We shouldn't be oh, you're trying to give us incentives so that we can work over girls that don't even work at our club. Because they were like, oh, well, and this was after the Halloween party. They like, oh, well, if y'all book a table, then we'll let you work the big artist event or whatever. Then it became, oh, if you post the flyers, we'll let you work the big artist event. I'm like, I literally dead was like, I'm not posting no I'm sorry, y'all. So I'm not posting no flyer for no event that you said I couldn't work. You want free promo off my shit? And I get views on my I get views on my story on Instagram. So you want me to post on my Instagram story a flyer from an event that you told me basically like, F you, you can't even work this. And we finna have other girls come in and work it instead of y'all. You got me so big. I was like, I'm not doing any of that. Like, that's crazy as hell. They even said at one point, I'm looking at the messages now. It said, this was the 1st of November. This was literally the day after Halloween. It said, ladies, those of you who left the hosting at the square to go to another event, address the owner message if you care about your job. You don't have to address him in a group if you prefer. But because my thing is, then it's like, the owner had done this shit too, where it's like, we had a big group chat for both clubs, right? We had this big group chat after the first event when they had brought the artists in and brought the girls over. Big group chat with all the girls in it. All right. He tried to embarrass us, like basically try to, and this is my thing. I don't take that lightly. Like, don't ever try to like embarrass me in front of people. I don't like shit like that. Because he had said something like, oh, matter of fact, I found it. It said, good afternoon. For the ladies who hosted and stayed last night, I truly appreciate you. For those that left and went to name of the other club that we picked up the friend from, with no heads up, you won't be working for big artist event and you can't attend. So you told us that we can't work the event and fuck us, we can't even come to the event. Bet, say less. Honestly, at that point, say less. I was good off that job as soon as I read that message, y'all. I was good off that job. I said, yeah, it's time for me to go. I'm not finna sit there and cry because I can't work no motherfucking event. I'm finna go find another way to get some money. I'm very bad at telling stories in chronological order, so I'm gonna see if I can like chop this so it all makes sense. But the other thing too, so what happened was this was before the big artist event. This all happened in a short amount of time. So from the span of like the end of October, so like the 31st of October was the Halloween party when we got in trouble. The artist was coming at the end of November, right? So this was probably like the 3 weeks in between. So the 3 weeks in between, probably like literally this was the last week I worked for them. Cause I was like, bro, y'all got me. So one of the last things that happened was the owner had bought these 4 cars, right? When he bought the 4 cars, he put in a group chat with both Triangle and Square, both clubs. He's like, oh, pick out which ones y'all want for each club. Like, everybody gets 2. So the girls from Triangle was like, oh, you know, we like, and honestly, we were fair about it. It's 2 trucks and it's 2 cars. So each of us will get, y'all know them things where it's like the cocktail waitress will come out and like the security will put it on their shoulders. And it'll be like a little like model of like a luxury car or something. And the cocktail waitress will be inside the luxury car with the bottles, okay? So boom, it was 2 trucks and 2 cars. So we were fair with it. We were like, okay, well, we feel like both clubs, like each club should get a truck and a car. And we had responded first. There was a green Lambo. We said we want that one. And then I can't remember the other one that we picked. The girls from Club Square were like, oh no, like we want that one. It matches our club better, like that I would do. And they named that one and one of the other ones that they wanted. The owner basically was like, okay, well, they're gonna get those 2 and then y'all will get these 2. And they were 2 that like we didn't ask for. So it was like, why did you ask us if you knew? And it was just like constantly being treated like the stepchildren to the other clubs. So it's like at this point, like I was just over it. It's like, why did you ask us if you knew that you was just gonna give us whatever they didn't want? We were getting treated like the step kids that like are just annoying little step kids. Like, oh, these not my real kids. Like, I'm not gonna take care of them like that. These not my real kids. This is like we would just always get the scraps. And it was just very apparent because all the girls at Club Triangle caught it. And everybody felt the type of way about it. But yeah, anyway, y'all, if you like this story, please leave a comment down below. Subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up so more people can find my stuff. And I will see you guys in the next story time. Bye.